No. Okay, alright, hold on. I just need to get the right combination. Windows PC, NES controller, windowed mode, then you set the whole system to run at the speed of sound, and... Oh. Yeah, I guess you could say I'm a Sonic fan. I mean, I must have played at least half of them. Oh dear God. It's not that I never had an interest in Sonic. I mean, I owned a copy of Sonic Advance 3 and I even almost beat Sonic Unleashed. I just never got around to it, you know? What with the decision paralysis and all. But the list had dictated the time had finally come for me to swap my greens out for reds and time out, because I was playing an
exploration-based 2D platformer instead of a Sonic game.
But to prove to you that I'm a real fan now, I'm gonna do this as quickly and thoroughly as possible. Here we go. This game carries a very unique air. It feels like it was made with a special combination of passion and dissatisfaction. You see, this game was made majority by Sonic fans. Sonic fans are self-aware people capable of channeling their emotions, mostly frustration, in such unique and creative ways, some of which I'm not comfortable talking about. They're like the apprentices of mad scientists who resent their mentors for being too cowardly to do what needs to be done to truly change the world. Except instead of trying to use human test subjects in an experiment to enlarge corn or something, they're trying to introduce innovation into the Sonic franchise. A far more delicate procedure. But Sonic Mania is them finally succeeding. Each and every zone is nova, visually, musically, and with unique stage features which do everything in their power to make it as fun as possible to just blast through, while also allowing you moments to calm down and process just how completely wizard what this team has accomplished is. Now the power-ups. I would die for the fire shield. If I was told that everyone I loved was going to be killed and I could save only one of them, I'd choose the fire shield. Every interest rate I'll acquire from now until the end of forever will be no lower than 40% because of the ridiculous debt I owe to the fire shield. I would tear down the Statue of Liberty and erect a monument to the fire shield in its place. All of the power-ups pale in comparison to the majesty that is the fire shield. The lightning shield's pretty good, I guess. The double jump certainly helps with hunting for chaos emeralds, but it's nowhere near the fire shield's level of usefulness. The bubble shield bounce is fun, but fucking useless, so it's basically just a normal shield, but for little children who haven't grown into fire shield-loving men. And the regular shield is just a fire shield without the fire part, so yeah, it's pretty good, I guess. Speeches are decent, but they don't make you immune to fire, so they're at the bottom of my Christmas list. Invincibility is just a temporary fire shield, which is more like an insult than a power-up, and the Eggman box seemingly does nothing except make my friends laugh at me. And I can't really blame them. I mean, I should have just ignored it and looked for a fire shield instead. The fire shield makes certain zones possible for me because, I don't know about you, but when I see fire, I tend to walk into it. Speaking of walking into damage, the bosses. I don't understand how they work, but I still beat the game twice, so either they're far simpler than I think they are, or the game allows for more player creativity than might immediately be apparent. For example, it took me 9 tries to beat Metal Sonic as Knuckles, and when I finally did it, it was because I'd completely trashed everything that had worked for me up to that point and literally went in a different direction. Mania does such a great job of letting you choose how you want to play and what direction you want to go in. This is especially true when it comes to the character selection. If you don't like waiting for moving platforms, you can jump to the next moving platform, but you do like Breath of the Wild, just fucking climb and glide past that shit, not to mention old Barbecue Rat. Now let's real quick brush through the things I didn't like. And that's Mercury Madness. Tight controls, awesome level design, open-ended bosses, and more cherries on top than a hostile bank takeover. Oh, and I went on The Price is Right, and I won a dune buggy.
Triplets born, the throne awaits. A seer warns of a deadly fate. Give up your children.